Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Lukemas Monster. Today, we're going to be doing a Star Wars The Black Series packaging tier maker. Now, I did get this idea from Out of the Basement on one of their recent Sunday live streams, so if you haven't checked them out, make sure to check them out. They are linked in the description. But today, we're going to be ranking every single version of Star Wars The Black Series packaging that is in the line from S tier to D tier. So, pretty exciting. Let's go ahead and just jump right into it. We're going to start obviously here at the front. We do have the Empire Strikes Back 40th anniversary packaging to start. And honestly, I think it's pretty decent packaging. I think I'm gonna go and put it. I'm gonna put it at a B tier. I think it's solid packaging for what it is. It's 40th throwback. It's basically TVC packaging, but Black Series scale. So I think it's all right. It serves its purpose, and I think it looks pretty good. Honestly, I'm gonna have to do the exact same thing for the New Hope packaging as well. Again, it's throwback to the original packaging. So it serves its purpose, and I think it looks pretty good doing it. So again, solid B tier. Now we do have the first Galaxy style box. We do have the A New Hope packaging. Now this one is interesting for sure. I like this packaging, but I don't know. It's a really weird color. I don't know why they picked orange, and there's a lot of reddish orangish colors in the line right now, and so I really wish they would have picked a different color for it. So because of that, I think I'm gonna put it at C. It's just not my favorite style. There's a lot of other reddish orange colors, and it kind of gets lost. And I'm gonna have to do probably the same for Attack of the Clones, which is next. This one is very similar. Again, it's more of a maroonish color, and maybe like a dark red, but I just don't get it. I don't think it really matches the style of the movie. Like some movies you really go like that color should be this. Like for example, Clone Wars, it should be yellow. That makes perfect sense. Then there's other stuff like Attack the Clones, just a dark red doesn't make much sense to me. Next up we do have the archive packaging, and I'm not a huge fan of the archive packaging. It serves its purpose. It's basically just re-release packaging, and so I'm gonna give it. I think this one's gonna be our first D tier. It's not bad by any means, but compared to most of the other packaging on this list, it's not my favorite. Next up, we do have the Bad Batch packaging, though, and this one I do like. I think that the maroonish, darkish red color works for Bad Batch. It fits the theme. It's the Bad Batch's color. They're like gray and dark red, and it matches the theme. So this one, I'm gonna go ahead. It's going to be the first A tier packaging. I think it works, it makes sense, and I like it. Next up, we do have the original Blue Line box, and I'm going to get some controversy for this one, but I'm not a big fan of this box. It's way too big. It's a very large box. I do have a few of them, and I don't know. It just doesn't do much for me. I'm going to put it at C tier. It's not a D tier by any means, but it's definitely not my favorite. So it's going to go in the C tier. But next up, we do have Book of Boba Fett packaging. And again, we're not really looking at the show, we're looking at the packaging. And this green color fits the theme perfectly. Boba Fett has green armor, the box matches the color. So because of that, we're going to put Book of Boba Fett packaging at A tier with the rest. Again, it fits the theme, it makes sense. Now, we do have the original carbonized packaging. I'm not sure if the newer carbonized packaging is on this list, which is a little unfortunate. I didn't make the list, but I don't really see it on the list. But we're going to be strictly looking at the original carbonized packaging, which is the old red style boxes that actually changed color with the figures. And because of that, those tiers, those packaging were the best. That one's S tier for me. Some of my favorite stuff. I think the newer stuff where the colors don't change with the figures are D tier, worst possible packaging. But the S tier, it works, and I really, really like it. Next up, we're going to be looking at the credit collection. And again, this is strictly based off of the packaging and not the figure itself. And so because of that, the credit collection, I like the credit collection idea. I like the end credit like concept art being the background card. It makes sense. I like the idea of it. And for most figures it works. It's again just the idea of the figure itself I don't really like. I don't really like credit collection to begin with, but I like the idea of the whole concept art card back. And because of that, I'm giving this one a B tier. I know some people probably want it a little bit lower, but I think it deserves a solid B tier. Next up, we have the 2008 throwback Clone Wars packaging. This one is like top tier, S tier. I don't even have to explain myself. It is personally one of my favorites of all time. But you know, it's classic Clone Wars. It definitely deserves that S tier packaging. And next up, we do have the Galaxy style packaging for the Clone Wars. So very similar, but this one is another one that I think it really fits the theme. The start of every episode, you have the yellow Clone Wars logo go onto screen, and I like it. I think the Clone Wars yellow is a perfect choice for the Clone Wars, and I'm gonna put this one at S tier actually. Is it better than some of the other ones? I think maybe just slightly, not much. So I think you could argue it's A tier, but I think I'm gonna give it the S tier. And then of course we do have Empire Strikes Back Blue. And again, it's one of those where it's an interesting choice for the color, but I think it's fitting as well. So I'm gonna put Empire Strikes Back Blue. I think I'm gonna put that one at A tier as well. It makes sense. Is it the best choice? Maybe not. I think there's an argument for it, but I think it fits. Next up, we do have the Galaxy style packaging for the gaming grates. Now, this I don't like, and that's mainly because it replaced the original Gaming Grades packaging, which was my favorite of all time. I absolutely love that packaging, and this replaced it. And so this one I want to give it a D tier, but I'm gonna give it C just because I like the shade of blue. The shade of blue works. It's a nice color blue, and I think it fits the gaming theme. I just wish that it changed colors with the figure, like the old Gaming Grades used to do. Next up is holiday figures, and I don't really like this. I mean, I don't really like the holiday line to begin with, but I think it's an interesting concept. But for me, I got to give the packaging to D tier. Next up, we do have the retro collection, like Kenner card backs for A New Hope. This one was a pretty limited run. I believe it only got 2 or 3 figures, but this one's all right. Again, it just screams the New Hope packaging to me. So nothing special. It's very similar to the original like 40th anniversary New Hope. So because of that, it's going to go in the same category. It's very similar. Next up, we do have the Mandalorian Galaxy style packaging. And again, another one of those where the color kind of works, but it's not perfect. I'm going to go ahead and give it a B tier. I think that the color works for it. Is it the best choice? Probably not, but I think it gets the job done. So it's going to go in the B tier. I could probably argue for A tier, but I think it's pretty good for what it is. Next up, we have the OG original Black Series box with the orange line package. And again, I'm not a huge fan of this box. I know the nostalgia for some people, kind of like Out of the Basement, it really gets them. But I never really collected whenever these boxes were coming out, so I don't have much. I don't have much opinion of it. It's just not my favorite. It's a big box. I'm not a huge fan of the colors. I don't know. It's just not my favorite. It's gonna go in the C tier. It's not horrible, but it's not my favorite by any means. Next up, we do have the plastic free packaging for the gaming grates, and this one might just be plastic free all around. It might not be just gaming grates, if that makes any sense. So I think we're gonna go ahead and throw that in as just plastic free packaging. And this one has its pros and it has its cons. I really love the like windowless look, to be honest. I think it kind of makes the box cleaner. I love how they did like the matte black background but with the glossy images. I think it looks super cool. I don't like how they use 3D renders instead of real photos, though, because the 3D renders are misleading and you don't really know what you're buying because of it. So I think overall it gets C tier. It's not horrible. It's acceptable. I like some stuff about it and I dislike some stuff about it. But I think if they used real photos, it would go in the B tier. But since they use those 3D renders, it gets C tier. Next up is the 50th anniversary Lucasfilm Power of the Force throwback card backs. These ones are pretty cool. I never collected, obviously, any of the Power of the Force. I'm a little bit younger for that. It's before my time, but I like the packaging. It's pretty cool, and I really, really liked how they went ahead and made the Black Series variant of it. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna give it A tier. I think I like it a little bit more than some of those 40th anniversary throwbacks. Next up, we do have Star Wars Rebels packaging for the Galaxy style. In this one, it's again another one of those where the color kind of just seems weird to me. I don't know. I don't see purple and I think it's Rebels. So I don't know. I think it looks good. It's definitely not a bad color, but it doesn't really scream Rebels. So I'm gonna go and put it in the B tier. Next up, we do have the standard red box packaging. And this one's gonna be controversial, but I'm gonna put the red box packaging at A tier. The red box packaging is cool. I really like it. It's clean. It has a sense of uniformity between the whole line, and I like it, to be honest. I like the red and black. It like works so well together. They complement each other a lot. And overall, I have a lot of nostalgia for the red box packaging as well. So that probably has some to do with it. But That one might be controversial, but I think the red box is an A tier package. Next up, we have Rogue One, and Rogue One is another one of those where I think the packaging, the color for it fits perfectly. This kind of like tealish, lightest bluish green color was in a lot of the promotional images and posters for Rogue One, and I think the color works perfectly. I'm giving this one A tier. It just works. Next up is Rise of Skywalker, and unfortunately, we have a lot of blues on the line, a lot of blues and a lot of like reddish orange, just tan colors. But this blue, it fits the theme of the movie. The Rise of Skywalker always had that blue Rise of Skywalker logo for the packaging, and so as much as I don't like the sequel trilogy, I think it fits the theme. I'm gonna give it. It's between A or B. But I'm gonna go ahead and put it at the top of B tier. Next up is Return of the Jedi, and again, this one's another one where the green color, I think it works. It just doesn't scream Return of the Jedi to me. I don't know what it is about it. I think Return of the Jedi, it's got to go B tier for me. I like Return of the Jedi and I love all the figures. It's just the green color. It's weird. I don't know. Next up though, we do have the throwback Phantom Menace packaging. And this one, some of my favorites. It has the like holographic card back, so it's super shiny, super cool. This one 100% is an S tier for me. And again, another controversial one, but we do have the Phantom Menace. And again, we have a lot of yellows and tans in the line, but something about this color, it fits the theme of Phantom Menace. I can't tell you why, it's kind of random, but it fits the theme. And because of that, it's going in A tier. It's good packaging, is all I can say. It fits the theme, and I like it. Next up, we have Return of the Jedi, and I think this one is actually my favorite one out of all of the 40th anniversary card backs, but I don't think it's A tier. So I'm gonna put it at top of B tier. I think it's better than the other ones here, but definitely not A tier. Next up, we have Kenobi, and again, another one of those bluish colors, which is kind of weird, but I think it fits the theme. I like the color of it. I like that Kenobi blue. I think it fits the theme, but it's not perfect. I think you could argue about it. So it's good. Again, going to go in B tier with a lot of these other ones that don't quite fit the theme, but are good. And then we have something else with Andor here. Andor doesn't fit the theme at all. Andor has like a maroonish red color in the box or in the like the logo for Andor, and they gave us like an orange box. It does not fit the theme at all. It's going in. Honestly, I don't like that color of orange, so it's gonna go in the D tier. I don't like it that much. It's not my favorite packaging, and it's too similar to A New Hope, so it's going in the D tier. Next up, we do have the original Gaming Greats package, which is my favorite packaging of all time. It's going in S tier. I loved how the packaging changed from figure to figure to match the color. So it just worked so well. It was clean. It looked great. It was a nice splash of color to the packaging, and I absolutely loved it. Now, I am just noticing that I don't see the first edition packaging in this list, which is unfortunate because I really do love the first edition packaging. So I think if the first edition packaging was on this list, I would go ahead and put it in S tier as well. I love the white with the red. It matched so well and it looked great. So I want to put that out there. It's not in this video, but it would be in S tier. Next up, we have the comic book line and the plastic-free packaging comic book line. So we're going to start with the normal comic book line. This one to me is S tier. I love the throwback to the original comics. Even if I don't have connection to them, I really appreciate the packaging. I really love what they did with a lot of them. So that one's going to get S tier for me. I love how you can flip open the package and see the figure inside. It's really cool overall. Like it even opened up like a comic book. It just felt like nice packaging, and it gets that S tier. And we're going to go the exact opposite with the plastic-free package version. That's because it tried to do the exact same thing, but with plastic-free. So you can flip it open like a comic book, but the problem is you can't see the figure inside. It's just a photo, so it flips open for no reason. And I think that's really stupid. It's going to go in D tier. I think what they really should have done is left it completely open to where you could see the figure inside, like no window at all. You can touch it, like it's just open, an open box. Or it shouldn't have the ability to flip open at all because it's really stupid in my opinion. But yeah, that is this list. I believe this was made by Out of the Basement, so make sure to go check them out. There might be some packaging missing, so make sure to like leave a few comments down below if you do notice anything that's missing. I'd love to rank it here as well. So let me know, and thank you guys so much for watching. If you did enjoy, hit the like button and subscribe. If you want to see more tier list videos like this, I would love to do them. So comment down below if you have any ideas for that, and I'll see you guys in the next video.